Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome
Welcome
back.
black.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the SplashCast. We are here. Football season has arrived, and you know what it is. We start out with our HBCU special. I am your co-host, Reggie.
And I'm your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined. We are your HBCU homeboys. And like Reggie said, welcome black. This is the HBCU preview.
This
What's
is the
good?
HBCU preview, brother, man. Hampton. I ordered my Hampton fitted, snapback 3 weeks ago for this moment to have Southern and Hampton on. Hampton is not here. I need y'all to get it together.
But they're always in your hearts.
Always in my heart. Kicks up right leg. But I need y'all to make sure y'all get me this because this will be the attire.
Let my soul do the singing. And y'all need to learn the alma mater, man. I had a discussion with some people recently that don't know the alma mater. Embarrassing. Whatever HBCU you go to, learn that.
One thing, we're here now, y'all. Welcome. Y'all know what it is. It's called the Soapbox 2024-2025 football season. You know, it wasn't cool to learn the alma mater when you were like a freshman or like when you were like having a force to go to convocation.
When you were in University 101 for a whole semester and you went there every day?
Every day. Shout out to Dr. Freddie Davy.
Excuse me, was that? Maybe that was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
No, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. But it wasn't. No. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. It was like calculus. I remember.
Don't tell me about that. I
said I ain't take no calculus. Calculus was.
I know about calculator. It's time for the calculator.
No.
It's time for the calculator.
I was in the math classes with no numbers. Calculators couldn't help you.
Thoughts and prayers to you, my boy.
Yeah, but what I was saying, like when you didn't know the alma mater, like when you were like a freshman, but as soon as you get to you get towards the end, you like, man, I'm gonna miss all this stuff. You start learning I used to know all the words to the alma mater, to the extra stanzas of the other song. I used to know everything. I'd be doggone tour guide at Hampton and Southern now.
Yeah, you're not a student leader. You can't not know that.
I was
lift
a fake
every voice and sing. Yeah,
I was a fake student. I never actually signed up for it. I just showed up.
Guilty by association.
Just got a couple T-shirts and moved on. Said my name was Kev Sumner. Shout out to the roommate.
Wow. Shout out to Denmark.
He's still in Denmark. But y'all know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with our HBCU news around the culture. This is our special HBCU preview for football. We're going to talk about the SIAC. We're going to talk about the CIAA. We're going to talk about the MEAC, the SWAC, and 2/16 of the Colonial Athletic Association.
1/8. 1/8 of the Colonial. Colonial don't sit right with me. I don't think we enjoyed.
I don't know why we went over there. We went all over there to decolonize. The decolonize. We were right over there. Kendrick done messed up the Colonial Athletic Association
Colonizer Athletic Association, boy.
They're playing Rhode Island. Boy, they ain't even seen us.
Newfoundland. Right that might as well be street.
That might as well be Newfoundland.
Are you playing? Hey, Greenland, all of that. We never went through that.
Nope, that's ice. But all right, ladies and gentlemen. So, how do you feel to be back, man? We are gonna do our SEC Power 5, whatever. Power 34. I don't know how many teams there are, and I don't know how many conferences there are. We'll do our FBS later on coming up. I believe we're doing that tomorrow, right?
We began to rock.
So that'll be out soon.
Steady, yeah.
How you feel to be back?
Y'all, it won't come out for y'all tomorrow anyway. How about that? Go ahead, buckle up. When you get it, you get it.
How does it feel to be back?
I'm happy. Football season it's amazing how we survive without football season. I don't know how I did it. I'm so thrilled. College football video game
Olympics.
Out. Oh man.
Y'all Olympics?
I wasn't feeling Olympic this year.
It wasn't as captivating outside of basketball. I will say, I think there was a little bit of haterish news going towards Noah Lyles just because he kept running his mouth. But other than that, I mean, basketball was good. I always tuned in the track.
As the fastest human on the planet, I think that's a person who deserves to be able to run their mouth. That's always been a thing.
So
what fastest man on the planet do you know who's humble? That's the benefit of being the fastest man on the planet.
Well, he got torched in the 200 though. And I mean,
nobody cares about the 200.
Everybody does. Nobody would have cared if he didn't come out and say he had COVID and end up at a.
Now that is an interesting story for a different day. But COVID, then I'm turning up. Now I don't have COVID.
In 6 hours. What COVID pill? I know the one that's supposed to work in 24 hours.
That's COVID-20, not COVID-19.
I got the 2020 medicine. You need 20th edition of the medicine.
That's that Dr. Umar COVID. Come and go.
Bong. Oh, man. So let's get started, man.
I'm happy football season is back. This also means the homecoming season is on the precipice.
Homecoming season.
Yeah. And all the things that we love. And beer.
Yeah. Shout out to Party of Two Brew Crew. They will be giving us on Saturdays. They will be giving us beer recommendations. As you can see, the notes on my board back there. Got the SIAC, got the SWAC, everything up there. So let's get started, man. Let's get started with the SIAC. Before we even go into the preview and everything, shout out to Arthur Blank and this 32-year-old picture that they used.
Is this ChatGPT? Is this Grok? What is this? Y'all didn't shine them up. And I mean, why does he look like Sammy Davis Jr. a little bit?
Well, there's a white twin or an opposite race twin everywhere. There's a twin. There's your twin that's white, Spanish, Asian.
Arthur Blank looks bored. He look. Are we gonna? I mean, he looked light skinned to me. I'll be honest.
Looks a little Creole-ish. He could be Creole. He could be Armenian. He could be Italian. He's just racially ambiguous right now.
That look like he look like one of LOA uncles.
Oh man, for y'all that are listening, man, we are. He started off with Arthur Blank and the Blank Foundation. The Blank Foundation renovated 4 SIAC school fields. They resurfaced them via $6.5 million grants. It was Albany State, Clark Atlanta, Miles, and Savannah State. Clark Atlanta went viral actually for their red turf. The second school I remember, I think Eastern Washington was the first.
Correct.
But this is great, man, because it immediately gives these schools a facelift, especially to be able to money attracts money, as a billionaire would know. So now they look like they got a little bit of money.
Yeah, so for me, number one, anytime you're revamping facilities for HBCUs, I'm on board. And you're right, money attracts money. But for me, I look at this as this is an opportunity now to host different games, classics like high school classics, jamborees, those type of things. And you got a state of the art feel. So yeah, let's find a way to make some money back and invest back into the school, invest back into the program. And once again, when people support HBCUs, thank you. I don't think that's it enough.
Didn't have to.
Thank you.
Didn't have to. So we appreciate.
And a lot of folks don't. What you talking about?
Oh man. So let's start out with the SIAC. The SIAC eliminated the East and West divisions in 2023. So last year was the first time that they had, I think, 1 through 11 or 12?
1 through 13.
1 through 13. And it was actually probably the best thing that they could have done. Because if you remember, we talked about, I got my notes right here, so that's why I'm looking. They had a 4-way tie between second place. It was Benedict and everybody else. Remember, Benedict and Chennis Berry, 13-1, 11-0 in the SIAC.
Everybody else just practicing.
But for second place, it was Albany State, Miles, Tuskegee, and Fort Valley, all at 6-2. Now, Tuskegee and Fort Valley had the better records. I think they were 8-3 and 9-2, 8-3 and 9-2, or 8-3 and 8-3. But Albany State had the better conference record because they upset Miles. So they ended up going to the championship game and got boat raced by Benedict 47-10.
Didn't matter who was going. You was going to lose. Best thing that could happen to y'all is Chennis Berry is now head coach of South Carolina State.
Got a lot of movement. He took a lot of. The thing about the when coaches move now is the transfer portal, and he took a lot of players with him over to out down to Orangeburg from Columbia. They are looking for their third straight championship, but
yeah, they're gonna have to look somewhere else for that.
Well, I don't know, man. They look pretty good. So here's the preseason all-conference breakdown. You got Tuskegee has 8 preseason All-Americans. Savannah State has 8 as well, which is surprising as Savannah State has not been great. They are been in a forever or perpetual rebuild. But
ever.
They got 8 preseason all-conference players. Miles with 7, Allen with 2, Clark with 5, Eastern Washington Lane, Fort Valley with 4, 5, and 6 to round it out.
Edward Waters.
What I say? Edward Waters? I said Eastern Washington.
No,
Edward Waters. Yeah. Edward Waters. So,
and with Savannah State, if you have 8 all-conference players, the expectation is to win or go home. You have to know that going into the season. You can't have this level of players and not find success, or success better find you. And unemployment will.
We'll get to so the SIAC during their media day actually released the preseason rankings. I'm sorry, preseason finishing, who they thought was going to win the conference, who was going to go to the championship game. And it's interesting, these numbers from Tuskegee and Savannah State, they have 8 preseason all-conference players, but they are like, I know Savannah State has to be like 12 out of 13. So, but
8 out of 13. But that's too low with 8.
Well,
and that basically
they only
means
won
you
like
had
one game last year, though.
So you got 8 all-conference players. You play 11 on 11. However you split that, you should, one side of the ball, either you should be really good at or you should be balanced. But you can't suck unless the rest of the people are terrible. You're not getting it done.
Yeah. The SIAC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 players ranked in the 5 teams ranked in the HBCU Division II coaches poll. Fort Valley at number 3. Albany State at number 5, Benedict at 6, Miles at 7, Tuskegee at 8. This is the 3rd year of the HBCU Division II coaches poll. So you're right. There are some expectations here. These teams seem to be. Go ahead.
If I could say anything that will cover this entire football season at every level, I think more than ever before, is expectations. There are so many teams with expectations and realistically just not enough opportunity to go around. Somebody is going to be butthurt soon and very soon.
Yes, sir. Here are the preseason final rankings right there.
Reggie say, hold on, let me cut to the butthurts.
Hey, yo.
No Diddy.
Oh, hey, no, hey. I want no smoke. But these are the preseason final rankings right here. There's a lot of
unintended.
A lot of meat.
Hey, yo, my boy. That is egregious.
It was. It was. I apologize, y'all.
Y'all can y'all tell we happen to be podding again? Always remember, like, follow, subscribe. Your favorite podcast in the world.
Yeah. So SIAC during media day ranked their teams from top to bottom. Starting out, we'll go from worst to first. Morehouse, man, they finished 1-9, 1-7 overall last year. The only notes that I have, they got a new coach. They got Terrence Mathis, Falcons legend. He's the new coach. He's been
class.
Teaching.
Hey, keep on going to class. That's the best thing I can tell you for right now. Congratulations on Terrence Mathis. Perfect attendance to the rest of y'all.
The receivers are expected to take a big step, and the offense is expected to take a big step here under Terrence Mathis.
At a,
He just got to get
at a
his.
place like that, man, with what they had and trying to get it to, I mean, trying to really stabilize yourself as a legitimate program and just have the amenities to compete when there are so many different places to play now. You got to give him 2 or 3 years before you even look his way, I think, personally, you know.
I think this is why HBCU jobs are going to be more attractive now because of NIL and everything that's happening between NIL. You're expected to win right now. Where HBCUs, you are already operating from a deficit. Yeah. So if you're already operating from a deficit, you're normally given maybe 2 or 3 years, unless you lose the teams you ain't supposed to lose to. Like you can't go 10-2 and then lose to 0-12 team. That and losing to your rival will get you fired. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, but with that said, Morehouse, and if you've ever met anybody from Morehouse, you know how they feel about their university. Hey, y'all need to spend some money. Sam Jackson, Denzel, Spike. Hey, y'all need to get on the horn and get that NIL money. I'm laughing, but I'm dead ass serious.
LBVS.
You have way too many. You have way too many notable alumni. I mean, you see how the rest of these schools are going. You see what Oregon is doing. Phil Knight said, "Hey, open up the checkbook. What do y'all need?" Well, Morehouse.
I might do that on a smaller
love
scale,
you guys.
Because
absolutely, 100% on a smaller scale, but still needs to be done. Is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. This is your opportunity to truly throw your weight around and your visibility around. Y'all are one of the few schools that get a check every time. So yeah,
from
y'all
everywhere.
Need to do something on it. Yeah, y'all are on that. Excuse my. I mean, I just say it. What they call the Power 5. Y'all gonna get money every time. So if you're gonna get the money and the notoriety, y'all need to invest in this athletic program, especially in the location that you're at. You're Morehouse. There's so many good football players in Georgia.
And
I mean, look what Georgia State has done. Yeah, like look what Georgia State has done in no time.
Game
exactly.
Year. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I expect Morehouse to be better than 1-9, 1-10. Coach Vaughn Brown has standouts. The SIAC's leading rusher, Kellen Dewey, is coming back along with defensive back and defensive lineman Kadarian Jones and Ashar Hassan. So they should be pretty good. I'm sorry, that was Morehouse. So Lane with Terrence Mathis has Vaughn Brown. Lane is supposed to be 12. 2-8, 2-6 in the conference. I ain't gonna lie to you. They have no notes for Lane. They have 2 players and a coach.
Ain't got it. Ain't got it.
they paycheck to paycheck.
We did not have the capacity.
Shout out to Lane, man. Y'all just show up and try hard. That's what y'all need to do.
Yes, keep doing what y'all doing. Go Dragons.
Kellen Dewey, Kadarian Jones, and Ashar Hassan should be pretty well. Allen University is 11. Now, this is interesting. Their head coach from last year, Teddy Keaton, left. They had the number 1 offense in the SIAC and a top 5 offense in all of Division II. The SIAC Player of the Year, David Wright, was the quarterback, along with Teddy Keaton and Cameron Ivory, who was the leading tackler, all transferred from Allen to that team above them, Clark Atlanta. So now the player of the year, I think the SIAC, he wasn't coach of the year, but I think he was runner-up, as well as the leading tackler, all leave. He had 4,500 yards passing as the top passing game. 4,500
He sound like them boys from Miami of Ohio. They stole our kicker.
Alabama said, "Yo, nah, he went into the portal. We just said, hey,
into the transfer portal. I got him. Ain't that how it works?" Well, yeah, essentially that's what happened, Alan. I hate it for you. Thoughts and prayers in advance. I hate it had to be you, but it is in fact you. Clark Atlanta at 10.
Clark Atlanta at 10.
You literally stole the show.
You did. And I actually expect for them to be better than 10 by the end of this. With the
Me too.
SIAC Player of the Year, with the new coach,
Yeah.
with no learning curve, yeah, they should be a problem. With that, and you better make sure Arthur Blank money go towards something now.
Yeah.
You better not be 1-9 out there on that red turf.
And you in the black and red, we don't want you confused with the Falcons, and the expectation in the state of Georgia is up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So then you have Central State out there in Ohio is coming in. They had a 5-5 record. Again, we are in the lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise portion of this sandwich. Clark, Central State is more, they are kind of like just the mid. Hate to say that. But
I mean, it is.
They
like
have 26 new recruits, though. 26.
This is your, honestly, this is your opportunity zone. The bottom is the bottom. It's no looking up. I'm going to be honest, man. I'm not wasting nobody's time this year. It is what it is. The bottom, I think y'all guys, especially 11 through 13, y'all looking at 2025 at the earliest.
Y'all should have the highest GPA in the SIAC.
Go to class. Making sure that y'all get good internships. Drink your water. And enjoy your time in college, because you will be going pro in something else. Now, this I think I'm going to put Clark at the bottom of the middle of the pack, and I'm going to put Benedict at the top of the middle of the pack.
That's fair.
And I think that all of these teams are very similar. They have the ability, they have the roster to jockey within this position and maybe attack like that fourth position at Tuskegee. I don't think that they get to the top. I don't think that anybody's touching Albany State, Fort Valley State, or Miles. But I think that middle of the pack, you can fight it out. And I think Benedict just being back-to-back champs, even if you lose your coach, that program was left with a decent amount of stability. I think that they're still top of the middle of the pack, considering that they were at the top of the pack. They're the leader of the pack the last 2 years.
Is in. Yeah, you're right. The system is there. They just got to refill the players, the cogs of the system, but the system is there. What's interesting about this next team, and we talked about it, Savannah State is supposed to be ranked 8. And I honestly think in the SIAC, I think 8 through 4 is going to be a dogfight. Now, remember, we told you that Savannah State led with 8 preseason all-conference team players. 8. So if they're going to have 8, they finished 2-8 last year, but they have 8 preseason all-conference players, and they have the returning quarterback, Jaden Adams, who I expect Savannah State, Kentucky State, Benedict, Tuskegee, Edward. I don't know about Edward Waters. We'll see. Well, actually, we know about Edward Waters. We'll talk about them later.
Decent football team.
They all of these teams from, and you could really stretch this from 10-5 if you wanted to, 10-4. We don't know about Clark and Central State, but 8-4, dogfight. They have 4 teams finished 6-2 last year, and I expect now you take away Michael Jordan and the Bulls, you take away Chennis Berry, and now all of a sudden it's wide open. This is gonna be fun. Shout out Savannah State. Smartest move ever. We told some of y'all schools.
It's going to be fun for some people. It's not finna be fun for them.
Boy, when you 0-9, I know that's just another practice. Like, we done practice 5 days, and now y'all go out here and practice again and get beat down. But
at least they have a practice field this year.
But shout out to Savannah State, though. If you
don't forget about that.
This is super old, though. This is going to date us. Savannah State used to be in the MEAC when we were in school. And
correct.
They used to get just absolutely beat down.
I vividly remember us winning a football game. Shout out to Scorpio. Taj Mallory was the running back there. Scorpio was like, I broke smart guy arm or his leg. I can't remember what it was, but Taj was done.
I think he ended up leaving.
Pirates got him on out of there.
Shout out to Scorpio. He went to Morehouse too. He transferred to Morehouse.
He did. But
Savannah State, I expect them to be pretty good. Kentucky State. Ooh, y'all, they have a sneaky good offense. They have an all-conference offensive lineman in Walter McClinton. They should be one of those teams that beats the 9 through 13. 9 through 13, they should probably be 5-0. They should beat Allen Lane, Morehouse, Clark, Central State.
What can you do when the competition looks a little bit more like what you look like is the question.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky State finishes in the bottom 11 through 13, though. Because all of these other teams have 9 and 10 all-conference players. They have new coaches. They have, we just said, what was it? Central State brought in 26 new recruits, not including the portal. And the way the recruiting is in with the portal now, it's hard to get big classes when you're a smaller school. You can't, because now Georgia, Florida, all of them are taking 35 players in recruiting classes and then taking the players out of the transfer portal. So it's less players for you to pick against. So you have to bring in a whole lot more players.
That is true, but it's also guys entering the transfer portal a lot faster now. You just got to be at the forefront. You got to learn how to work the portal. You cannot be what's your boy at Clemson, Dabo, who just don't believe in it. If you're not playing in the portal, then you're not playing football. You're watching other people do it.
Yep. And now, if you look at the graphic, if you're watching this, if you look at the graphic, there's 13 teams. So the right side of the graphic is a little smaller than the left side of the graphic. That's more like JV and varsity. Because once you get to Edward Waters, this is when it's a dogfight for everybody else from 6 through 1. Edward Waters is picked to go 6. They finished 6-4 last year. Their best. Remember, they just became a university while we've been podcasting.
Yep, 2 years.
And they finished 6-4, their best season in a decade. They returned 4 all-conference selections, including Dylan Lemon and Johnny Jones. That's a team that could sneak up and leapfrog Benedict.
Those are the teams that are the scariest to me. They already have their systems and processes, playbook in place. They're just looking to improve their rosters on the edges. And, man, you have continuity. Like Benedict being at 5, going from 1, that's impressive. That's super impressive because of the massive overhaul. Versus Edward Waters, who's had a little bit more stability, they should really have the higher expectation. To me,
they might. Again, it's like I use your Oregon analogy. Oregon was terrible. They were terrible for a long time. And then when they started to become good, it's like, I don't believe it. Like Edward Waters is in that I don't believe it category right now. 6-4, y'all just missed being,
Show me.
You got to do it. You got to do it now. So they may be able to. Hopefully they will. But hey man, they are picked to be 6th. And then you get to what? Benedict. Benedict is picked to be 5. Again, lost Chennis Berry to South Carolina State.
Back-to-back champs, though.
Back-to-back champs. He took a few players with him, a few recruits. He's right down the road. But again, they are strong on defense. They are strong on offense. Chennis Berry had a 2-deep rotation at every position. So even if you take 10 players, you left me with 34 players. Plus I get to recruit. So they've got it booming over there. New coach Ron Dickerson is there. I don't expect he'll change much. I wouldn't.
He was already in the program, though. He was not an outside guy, right? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. You'd be foolish. And again, sorry, Chennis Berry, offensive coordinator at Southern. They just let him go. Let him go to Benedict. Went out there, and then they didn't even interview the man. Didn't even interview him. Then they tried to circle back this year.
Are you upset about this?
A little bit.
Hurt?
We done fired 3 coaches since he done won the SIAC twice and went to South Carolina State. And then we'll get to the MEAC. He gonna crush the MEAC. He gonna crush the MEAC, bro. But I expect Benedict. This is like when Alabama is allegedly gonna have an off year. They may have an off year and lose 2 games, or they may win the SIAC and blow everybody out. You never know.
That's the other thing about this is if your team is if your game plan is installed, you have a team that's kind of used to doing this. Injuries always play a part in the football season. And if you can stay healthy, give yourself a fighting chance. They're what they don't have in what they lost in the overhaul, they also have in other guys with experience. And that's valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, they did play a lot of players, and that definitely is going to come back and help them. So shout out to Benedict. Tuskegee, championship contender. 7-4, just missed out on the championship game. They returned star linebacker Malik Moe and defensive back Michael King. They had one of the better defenses in the SIAC. They should be even better. I believe they have 8 preseason all-conference players. This is it, Tuskegee. This is when you make your jump. And they start out, I think they play either Alabama State or Alabama A&M this year.
And this is your opportunity. Like you said, Benedict is out of there. If you believe that, you are what you say you are, this is your opportunity to prove, hey, we're a legitimate football team. We're champions here.
Yeah. Yeah. Tuskegee, now you're getting into what is going to really be a dogfight. Because then you got Miles is supposed to finish third after them. They finished 7-3 last year. They had I want to say the biggest turnaround in the SIC. They had one win in 2022, and they went 7-3 last year, and they narrowly missed again. They ended up missing the conference championship by one game and a tiebreaker. They returned 5 all-conference players. So I don't even know if that's called rebuilding. That's kind of reloading. And they have 7 preseason all-conference players. So they added 2 to the 5 that they brought back.
My only thing with them is when you kind of go from a bad season to a really good season that quick.
Is it one-off?
Is that you got to ask. And is that you? Did you have just one good season, or are you about to turn it back into a pumpkin? And that's their thing. Can you stabilize this thing and make it where you have a winning program, or are you just going to be up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down?
Well, I think that a different way of saying that is you can't sneak up on anybody. When you go one win,
oh yeah,
we've all played sports. You could play video games. You could play whatever you want to play. When you play somebody that really don't know how to play or isn't that great, well, that is Reezy. Hello to our executive producer who has learned how to open the door.
Big Reez, what up, though?
Shout out to Reesington. But Miles, man, if they are on the precipice of becoming a powerhouse in the SIAC again. Because if they can string together 2 or 3 good seasons, now you get, because HBCUs are playing for the transfer portal. We play for recruits and transfer portal. If they can turn into what we think they can turn into, woo, boy, Lakewood going to be jumping come the fall. All right. Albany State and Fort Valley. I believe the runner-up to play Benedict came down to this game last year, where Albany State ended up winning. Fort Valley finished 8-3. 8-3 last year. They lost to Albany State 13-7. I mean, that's one of them games you cry.
Way to go home too.
Yeah, that's a cry game. If you're 13, a senior,
it's not even like it was a shootout. It's a dog fight. 13
in the cold. In the cold. That was a November game.
No, thank you. That's the part of football I don't miss.
No, yeah.
But once again, this is your opportunity to get your get back.
Well, they're led by preseason All-American graduate running back Brandon Marshall. He had 1,000 yards, averaging almost 5 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns, rushing and 2 touchdowns receiving. 1,000 yards on 200 attempts, basically. Then they also bring sophomore DB back Kamari Blankumsey. He led the team with 4 interceptions. He's a preseason All-American, preseason All-Conference player, Division II All-American, I believe. So he should be one of those guys that you may end up seeing him play on Sunday, low key. So they're there.
If you see ball, get ball, man. If you can do that, they don't care where you were at. Come on. Come on.
I actually went back and looked at a little bit of his tape. He's definitely a ball hawk, but he's kind of technically sound. Like he's kind of sound when it comes to going for the pick and coverage.
That's such a unique gift. Like that, like you look at a guy like Ed Reed, that's what he was really able to do, is just find a way to make a play on the ball consistently. And he, nothing wrong with I'll give you an example. Like for us, AJ Terrell's of the world, just solid defender.
Yep.
But just don't have that. That's fine. But when you have that ball hawk, it's something different. It's the Jesse Bates effect.
I wouldn't be surprised if AJ Terrell gets 4 interceptions this year. But that's another discussion for our NFL preview, which is on the way. And then finally, coming in at number 1 is Albany State. Again, Albany State is picked to be number 1. And I don't even think they had more than 2 preseason conference all-conference players. But they're picked to be number 1. That tells you about their continuity.
Balance.
And their balance. Xavier Henn and Ahmad Grimma, offensive line and tight end, are their best players. And they got a lot of new faces. Graduated a lot of players last year. So I expect Albany State, they may bump down to 4, but they are picked right now to be number 1. And it wasn't really close.
That's something to watch, is without the superstar player, especially when you get to the MEAC, you look at certain teams that are full of studs. Can you do it this way, the old-fashioned way of just, hey, let's play really good team ball. Let's be disciplined. Everybody play assignment football and win. Or do you need to go into the portal, find these transfers, and try to win that way? It should be interesting to see Albany State's success level doing it this way. I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, if they can do it, that's the Nick Saban Bible right there. Just do your job, and we'll take care of everything else. If you can pull that off, you're pretty good. But, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the SIAC preview. Before we move on, let me ask you, now that you've seen, and we talked about it, who are you picking to win the SIAC? On the spot.
I'm picking Fort Valley State. I like the idea of Albany State, but I think that Fort Valley State has a mixture. I think they're just I've done a lot of research, and I look at each team in each different conference, and you could just kind of you can look and see the team that I believe each year is picked and ready to go and ready to win. There's a lot of parity between all of these, so it's not like it was before. If tennis was here, then we pick Benedict. Easy money. But with the movement being so consistent, if stability in this case is very, very valuable. And I think that Fort Valley having star players and still having a level of stability is going to put them at the forefront of this. I think they win. Albany State, value effort, but I think that the talent is going to win. But I'm open to being wrong for sure.
I like the Fort Valley State pick. They have all these players returning. I'm gonna go Miles. I'm gonna go Miles. You have 7 preseason all players, 5 all conference players returning, and then you add 2 more, and you finished tied for second last year, and now Benedict is out the way. Miles, this is your chance to solidify yourself as a SIAC. You're already an SIAC contender. Now you are a championship powerhouse if you could win this year. You establish yourself. And in Alabama, you know they love football in Alabama, especially college football. Ain't nothing else there. So I didn't mean that as a joke, but I meant that as I didn't mean it like that. It's just akimbo. It's no professional teams is what I meant, man. So
he said it ain't nothing in Alabama.
But ladies and
gentlemen,
go
down there and make a straight.
We'll be right back. We're going to take a break as we get ready for the CIAA breakdown. We'll talk about the same thing. Then we'll do MEAC, SWAC, and again 1/8 or however many teams there are of the Colonizer Athletic Association.
An eighth.
We said what?
Oh, hey, all right, go get your beer. Come on back.
Oh no! Nope, I don't know what you talking about. We'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned.